Your Missouri football Tigers start the 2025 season with a bang with a 61-6 final score, total score of 67. I know that matters to some people, a total score of 67 points. I'm Tucker Franklin. This is the Mizzou That's Who postgame show. We're going to talk about Beau Pribula. We're going to talk about Matt Zollers. We're going to talk about that defense. Also, some unfortunate things that happened as well, but we'll start with the positives after this. Mizzou That's Who postgame show, rocking with you here right after a Mizzou 61-6 victory over the Central Arkansas Bears. We need more Bears in athletics. We need more Bears in general. Bears are my favorite animal. So I want to see more Bears all over the place, truthfully. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this Thursday night. Let's talk some Mizzou football here as the Missouri Tigers do get a 61-6 victory. As I did mention, let's run through the scoring. Let's run through the scoring for the Missouri Tigers as they start off with a bang. Boy, howdy. Let me know in the chat how you guys felt about this, because we got to see look like Drew Lock is what happened. It looked like Drew Lock as we got to see Beau Pribula drop back and throw a dime, a 49-yard touchdown reception by Marquise Johnson, thrown by Beau Pribula. 2-point conversion on that one was a little bit weird. Did not get that one, obviously. Got a couple field goals from Blake Craig as well, a 49er and a 55er. Those are some pretty big kicks there from Blake Craig. Also, in the second quarter, you got a rushing touchdown from Beau Pribula. Man, a scramble here from Beau that was insane. It was absolutely insane. Kyle Walker, shout out in the chat for hanging out with us. He was bracing for it to be incomplete. 100%. I think a lot of Mizzou fans kind of got conditioned to that maybe in the last previous years of these deep shots to anticipate one of those to be incomplete. It was not, and it was phenomenal that it wasn't. I had a really great feeling about that. But back to the scramble from Beau Pribula with about 6:48 left in the half. He has himself quite a scramble, 31-yard rush for a touchdown to put Missouri up 19-0. Blake Craig with that PAT. That is good. Now, this is kind of when I knew that, okay, it's good. This kid might be pretty darn good. This kid might be pretty darn good. It was a 99-yard drive, 15 plays, 99 yards, taking up 3 minutes and 30 seconds of game time that ended with a Beau Pribula pass, 1-yard touchdown reception to Brett Norfleet, leaving 8 seconds of game, 8 seconds of the first half still on the clock. That was when I was like, okay, this kid might be pretty solid. Might be pretty darn solid. Obviously, let's run through the rest of the scoring here, and then we'll kind of hit some of the storylines. First drive of the second half was the Ahmad Hardy show. He had a 4-yard rush, and he got to do his little horse celebration. Beau Pribula, another 99-yard drive that he capped off with a 1-yard touchdown rush as well. 7-play, 99-yard drive. Pretty darn good. Couple pretty impressive drives from Beau Pribula there. And then the Tigers said, Eli Drinkwitz said, you know what? I think that's it. Matt Zollers comes in. He throws a 40-yard touchdown pass to Jude James for both of those guys' first touchdown of their career. Put them up 47-0. The Tigers were up. Marquise Davis gets in on the scoring action. 3-yard touchdown run on about 7.5 minutes left to go in the game. And then Missouri gets a 83-yard pick six from Dante McClellan, freshman Dante McClellan, 83 yards to the zone. That was a pretty cool one to see. Love to see the defense force some turnovers, obviously, at the very end of the game there. You had a little bit of a scoring there from Central Arkansas. 3-yard touchdown pass from them there. 2-point conversion did fail. Missouri ends up winning 61-6. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us as we are getting information as things come in. As Daniel Meir says, is Craig the leg okay? I'm going to be monitoring the Twitter as Eli Drinkwitz press conference will start. If you guys see anything, let me know in the chat. We'll see how that all comes down. That was unfortunate for both Daniel Craig. That's not James Bond. Anyway, Blake Craig, unfortunate for him. Also unfortunate for Sam Horn, who some photos were going around social media. Does not look good for Sam Horn. He does not come back into the game. He gets one rush, which, to be fair, he looks pretty explosive. Looks pretty explosive in that one run. He just, man, unfortunate for Sam Horn to take that shot like that to go down. And looks like he'll have some tests done and see if he is done for what is feared. We'll say. Well, if he's done for what is feared, we will take that as it comes. But one rush for Sam Horn, 6 yards. He does leave under the assistance of a lot of people. So in the game, let's look at the game stats. 560 total yards for the Missouri Tigers, 341 pass yards, 219 rush yards. 8 penalties for the Tigers for 70 yards, 25 first downs, 9 of 13 on third down, 1 of 1 on fourth down, running 69 plays, averaging about 8.1 yards per play, 13.1 yards per completion, and 5.5 yards per rush. Obviously, the big storyline that we got to get into first is Beau Pribula. Beau was playing some ball, man. Beau knows. It looks pretty darn good. And I will say it is very unfortunate what happened to Sam Horn. I hurt for the kid, man. That sucks. It really does. I was really hoping to see both of those guys go out there and sling it. Man, it would have been hard for Sam Horn to kind of top what Beau Pribula did today. Beau Pribula was throwing that ball around the yard. I was very impressed with not only his accuracy, his timing, his comfort level. The offensive line didn't look phenomenal, guys. Like, that's going to be kind of a concern, I think, moving forward into the rest of the season. It might be a talking point literally all the way through. But the offensive line did settle down. Beau Pribula looked like he was on time, and he was confident in his decision making, which I think is absolutely massive for a quarterback in this offense. The timing was great. He was finding his hots when he needed to. There was one time where, look, there was no backside pickup on a little bit of like a corner nickel blitz, a slot blitz there. He turned right into the blitz, and he was able to find Norfleet as his hot receiver right there and able to, short completion, but it could have been a lot worse, right? He avoided a sack. Finding that processing and that decision making, that quick decision making, was something that I absolutely love to see. Stephen Talbot says, against better teams, those penalties and missed blocks on the offensive line will stall some of our drives this season. Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing, is you have to also take this with a grain of salt, because this was against an FCS team. I think that's 100% true, but that's why you play these FCS teams early in the season. Every team, you're going to watch football this Saturday. If you were kind of double screen watching with Nebraska and Cincinnati, that was a sloppy game. That was gross. All these teams early in the season are going to have these procedural penalties, or they're going to have missed blocks, they're going to have miscommunications just early in the season. I'm hoping that they can kind of work those out early on in the season. Now, week 2 is a pretty big game against a big time rival. So I kind of need that to happen now. You kind of need that to all work out now. But I think as the game went on, you could kind of see the comfort level of the offensive line get a little bit better when they're running the ball, which, man, they love to run the ball. Let me look it up and see if I got it right here in terms of obviously they had more passing yards than rushing yards, but in terms of just like carries that they had as a team, they had 6 rushers, 38 carries. They had 31 passing attempts. So they ran the ball more than they threw it, but it was pretty darn close to 50-50, truthfully. More 50-50 than I thought it was, because it felt like they ran the ball a lot. Zollers only attempted 3 passes. He was 3 for 3, 58 yards and a touchdown. Shout out to Jude James there on that touchdown pass. But he does get 100% completion percentage, and touchdown for old Zollers leaves with a 372.4 QBR quarterback rating. So that will I believe that's perfect. I believe that is perfect. I still want to talk about the offensive side of the ball because look, you had not only was Beau incredibly efficient through the air, 82% completion percentage, 23 of 28, 283 yards, 2 touchdowns, 190 on the quarterback rating. Pretty impressive day at the office when one of his biggest knocks, I guess, on him was his ability to throw the football. He threw the football incredibly confident. He had a lot of confidence behind all of his decisions, behind all of his throws. It's some zip that I didn't really anticipate coming out of his ball too. So I was really impressed with that. The route running, this receiver room's nuts. This receiver room's stupidly good, folks. I mean, they've got some insanely good wide receivers in this room, and that's going to make the job of whoever was the quarterback going to be very easy. Eli Drinkwitz, this is from at Power Mizzou Com on Twitter. Gabe DeArmond says Eli Drinkwitz, quote, very disappointed and sad with the injury to Sam Horn and the injury to Blake Craig. He says they'll find out the degree of the injuries tomorrow. So we will know a little bit more tomorrow about the severity of those injuries. That is from Power Mizzou. Dave DeArmond over there, tweeting that out at Power Mizzou on Twitter. That is a bummer for both of those guys, especially Blake Craig and Sam Horn. Both of those guys are pretty big in terms of how Mizzou was planning on to use both of those guys. Blake Craig was hitting a 55-yarder. No problem. He had a 55er, zero problem. And having that guy is an absolute total weapon when you think about like your offense and what you can kind of plan for and game plan for. Missouri's not a stranger to a kicker who can really boot the ball. Yeah. Eli Drinkwitz also tells Brian Hosworth and Chris Javino that they won't know the specifics of the injury to Sam Horn until tomorrow. So undergoing tests. We'll see how all of that shapes out for those two guys there. But really unfortunate news. But that's like those two things are the biggest bummers. Those are the biggest bummers of this game, which pretty darn clean, I think. When you're wanting to see a game against an FCS opponent, this is kind of how you want the score to look. This is kind of how you want it to be handled. Mizzou 19 shouted in the chat. He says, shout out to their QB for an electric pooch punt. That was fun. You don't see pooch punts very much, and that was a very well executed pooch punt. I do agree, Mizzou 19. That's a great point. That pinned him all the way down at the 1, which then Beau put together that 99-yard drive, which he was absolutely surgical on that drive. Let me pull some stuff up here from this drive chart to see the play-by-play data because there were some plays there where he was just finding guys, and it was very impressive by how he was running that offense. And that's a very encouraging thing. Incredibly encouraging for a guy who, I mean, is new to the offense. Sam Horn has had a lot more time in this offense than Beau Pribula has, but he got in here and made it work. So Jamal Roberts has that big rush at the beginning of this drive and gets called back because of a hold. The left side of that offensive line struggled in terms of communication and penalties early on in this game. I do think that they kind of righted the ship a little bit, but not something that you really want to see. They were able to put together a pretty solid run game with Jamal Roberts as he's going to a couple runs together, put him on a 3rd and 2. And then Beau Pribula, great rush. And then we got to see the Beau show. The Beau show took off here with these little string of passes. He had this pass to Josh Manning for 12 yards, another one to Josh Manning for 13 yards, another one to Josh Manning for 17 yards. And boy, howdy. After that third one to Josh Manning, electric wide receiver, by the way. I think Josh Manning is probably the most underrated wide receiver on this team, which is crazy to say. They've got a lot of they got a lot of dudes in that room. I think Josh Manning is the most underrated one. He can be something. He can be something special. Obviously, you got Brett Norfleet involved in that, and then he did have a drop, but he had 1, 2, 3, 4 straight completions right there on that drive. No, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 4 straight completions. Then the drop by Norfleet, which I think he had to get rid of pretty darn quick. Then Jamal Roberts setting them up. They had a false start that backed him up with about a minute left on the clock. Then he hits Marquise Johnson for 13, Marquise Johnson for 17, and then Ahmad Hardy for the 1 yard, and then the Beau Pribula keeper for the touchdown. Chris Palmer says it good here. Beau knows rushing tuds. I think we're going to see a lot of those. And, man, with that 1-2 punch in the backfield that they have with Roberts, with Hardy, and, man, you even got to see a little bit of some of Davis running today, too. With that punch, fellas, man, those Beau Pribula keepers are going to hit. They even ran the Luther Brady play where he does the fake pitch and goes up into on like 4th down. They ran it and he converted it. I thought that was funny. That was still on the menu. I liked that. I thought that was funny. ZOU Samantha, thanks for hopping in. Let's go. Steven, I thought Donovan O looked good. He looks like, I mean, he was out there playing with these ones. He looks like an SEC body. He looked like he should be out there. Let me get you his line. Alubade, 4 catches, 37 yards for a long of 10. He had 44 yards after the catch. But he catches all 4 targets that he had. All 4 targets for Donovan Alubade. He catches them. No touchdowns for him, but 4 targets, 4 catches. You'll take that all day. Marquise Johnson, 5 catches on 6 targets, I should say. Kevin Coleman, 6 catches on 7 targets. Marquise Johnson leads all receivers 134 yards. Big day at the office for him. He has that deep touchdown. Brett Norfleet also adds a touchdown. So does Jude James, that 40-yard touchdown haul for him. Norfleet, 9 yards on 3 catches on 5 targets for Norfleet. 48 yards for Kevin Coleman. Josh Manning, 53 yards. 4 for 4 on targets to catches as well. So great showing from the Mizzou wide receiver room. Pretty darn good day on the receiving room. DJ Collin, I want to see some true read option moving forward. Could be deadly. Absolutely. I think that's the way to use this guy. I think that's the way to use Beau. I think that's the way to use these running backs. I think it could be dangerous. Throw that in there, mix it in with his arm, read option. RPOs, I think the RPO game could be dangerous, fellas. Folks and ladies, fellas and ladies, could be pretty nasty. Anything else you guys want to talk about on the offensive side of the ball before we flip over to the defense? I will throw to a break, but during the break, let me know if there's anything you guys want me to talk about during or on the offensive side of the ball that I haven't hit on. We'll take a break here. On the other side, I got to talk about this Mizzou defense. I've got to. Let's take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your #1 source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
I'm Brett Goodwin, one of the owners of The Learning Tree. The Learning Tree is a neighborhood toy store in Prairie Village, Kansas. This has been here in this location since 2000s, and my husband Alan and I purchased the store in 2023. Alan and I grew up in families where we've always wanted to have a business together. Alan grew up, for instance, his parents had a jewelry store. I worked in a local toy store here in Prairie Village when I was growing up. When this opportunity happened in 2023, we knew right away we wanted to contact them and pursue the store. We wouldn't have been able to get the store without the team at Emprise Bank. From the day we contacted them, they knew what we needed to do, which was very helpful. I would absolutely recommend the team at Emprise Bank to anyone looking to secure a business. We worked with Emprise from day one. They were extremely helpful. They were always great resources. We talk to them frequently. They know the area. They're very friendly. We know who we're going to talk with, and they know what we need to do. We hope we'll see you at the Learning Tree.
What's good, everybody? It is Benny Heiss, KCSN betting analyst, and I just want to let you all know that it's okay. You can take a slow, deep breath. Inhale and breathe out with one word: football. You feeling it? Yeah? Could you take that in? That sweet, sweet scent of grass and pigskin in? I'm ready. I hope you're ready too, because we're going to have an absolutely awesome season once again together. And especially for all of you in the state of Missouri, get your popcorn, get your phones ready, because the wait is almost over. You can taste it. It's coming, people. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming. You say, show me? I say state. Later this football season, everything that you love about playing on DraftKings Sportsbook, sides, totals, spreads, props, same-game parlays, you name it, DraftKings Sportsbook is going to elevate your already great game day experience here with KCSN. And even if you don't get in by kickoff, no sweat, besides the promos on DraftKings that they offer as well. There's live in-game betting, payouts, faster than Xavier Worthy hauling down a bomb from 15 on the sidelines, all right from the comfort of your phone, wherever, whenever. You'll be betting with a top-rated sportsbook that is safe, secure, and trusted by millions of Americans across the country. Now, here's what you do. Follow your guy. You download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Be sure to use code KCSN as you get ready for sports betting to launch here in the state of Missouri. You're going to be the first in line for exclusive promos, can't miss offers, much, much more. It's code KCSN. That is KCSN in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements.
If you guys are not making it to Columbia tomorrow, or next week, I should say, rather, if you can't make it out to Columbia, but you're in the Kansas City area, come hang out with me. Come hang out with ESPN's Matt Miller, who, by the way, huge on Beau Pribula. We were chatting during the game. That guy's huge on Beau Pribula. Come hang out with us at Holiday Distillery, Weston, Missouri. Wonderful folks at Holiday Distillery, Ben Holiday, Bottle and Bond Bourbon. Check them out. Obviously, it's great stuff. We're gonna have a great time, a great watch party watching Missouri beat the tar out of Kansas. Beat the tar out of them. Incredible. I didn't see anything in the chat about offense. I think we pretty well covered the offense. Defense had a pretty solid day as well. Josiah Trotter, had a big day leading the team with 8 tackles, 5 of those solo, 3 assisted tackles as well. 1 tackle for loss for about 2 yards. So big day for him. We also had a big day all across the defense. Jeremiah Beasley, the sophomore, 7 tackles for him, all of those solo. Santana Banner, 5 tackles, 2 of them solo. Had a pretty big tackle, if I remember correctly. I think it was a 3rd down. It was a play where a pass was caught and he stuck him right there. Didn't let him go anywhere. I was pretty impressed with Santana Banner. Looking at the sacks numbers, you had 2 sacks from Damon Wilson, and he had 2 tackles, 2 sacks for 15 yards, 2 tackles for loss, and pretty big day for him in the sack department. You'll take that all the day. He's got a lot of high hopes. Matt Miller, very big on Damon Wilson. Loves himself some Damon Wilson. So huge for him there. Other tackles for loss, scanning the box score here. Trajan Greco had 4 tackles, 2 of them solo, 1 for loss, 2 assisted. So big day for him. Obviously, you have the interception by Dante McClellan. He takes to the house, 83-yard. He's learning how to gas there, folks. He was running on fumes as he got down there. Boy, howdy. I just saw a comment. I don't know if that's true, Shane. I'm going to double check that, but I'm not 100% sure that is the case. Eli Drinkwitz did say that. Well, yeah, I don't see anything on the timeline about that. We will know a little bit more tomorrow about the injuries to Sam Horn and Blake Craig. If that is true, that is a huge bummer. Huge bummer if that is the case. Eli Drinkas, this is from Power Mizzou, says he's him on the offensive line. Gabe DeArmond tweeting this out from the press conference. There was some good, some bad, and some in between. Said there were a couple of mistakes in learning to play new positions, but overall, I was pretty pleased with today. Those were the two big things from the press conference that were tweeted out from Power Mizzou. So. Aaron, I saw this in the chat from Aaron. Offensive line looks shaky. Getting stuffed a couple times versus a 1AA defense is concerning for sure. And I do think, as Eli Drinkwitz said there, I do think that there is a little bit of learning new positions, first game of the season, communication, getting all of that down. I didn't love how he looked. He being Caden Green. I didn't love that. He was getting beat to the inside way too much for my liking, which is, I mean, he's used to having a little bit more help there to the inside to pass some of that stuff off being a guard, but he'll get used to that. Hands are a bit slow. I think it's a communication thing. I don't think it's anything that can't be fixed, right? And I don't think that it's like a smash, break glass in case of emergency. I don't think it's that. So I don't think it's that there. But I did not love early on when they were letting Beau get hit a lot. That's very tough. Letting him get hit a lot was not very good. Chris Palmer asked how Blake Craig got hurt, and Shane, yep, the kickoff after we were up 33-0 got hit blocking, and it looked bad. It wasn't great. It wasn't. They are unfortunate for sure when those guys did go out. Steven Talbot says, I thought their QB wasn't bad. Good athlete, made the right plays. His receivers dropped a few. Athletic QBs have always given us fits. We need Daniels. We need to hit Daniels next week early and often. 100%. I was a little bit worried knowing that he was a little bit more of a scrambler, and he picked up a pretty big, I think, third down on the first drive that got called back because of a penalty. But I didn't think he was a bad quarterback. I just think that Missouri defense got after him, and they don't have like a ton of dudes in Central Arkansas. Funny enough, they don't have a ton of dudes in Central Arkansas. But yes, we will have to. The Tigers will got to get after Daniels quick next week. We will have to get it quick. But yeah, I was impressed. Was impressed with the defense. The defense as advertised. And look, I know that people are going to say, "Well, look, this was against FCS team." And it was against an FCS team. Mizzou took care of business, though. There have been plenty of times where Missouri was playing FCS or low-level FBS teams and didn't get the job done. And they did here. They looked exactly how they were supposed to look. They did it. And they also wore an incredible, maybe my favorite uniform combo is the all black. I love that. I see Mizzou 19 says, I wonder what unis will wear next week. I love the all black, man. If they just stick, if they pick a home and they pick a road uniform, I'll be stoked with that. And if it's the all blacks as the home, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss for the people listening, not watching live. Great. Let me know what you guys think in the chat below, what your favorite uniform combination is, but maybe they bring out the block M for the Kansas game. Who knows? Who knows what they'll do? Gonna do a quick little scan of Twitter here before I head out on this post game show. We really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me here before Power Mizzou goes live too, as well. So make sure you go check those guys out as well as they'll do their post game show. But Missouri does get the win. Not seeing any new news in terms of how those injuries look like. Yeah, it looks like we'll know a little bit more on Friday. Hopefully we won't have devastating news for both Sam Horn and Blake Craig. That would be tough. DJ Collin wants us to bring back the stripes in the pants. Yeah, those are clean. I do love a good stripes in the pants. Shane says, good thing we won't need a kicker next week. Mizzou about to be up 59-0 at the end of the third quarter. Mr. Brightside will be blasting life. It's good for sure. Please bring out the block game next week. Yes. Luther, yes, I'm glad you brought this up. Luther Burden the GOAT says Ben Arnett passing is heartbreaking. Yeah, I saw that come across the timeline. Awful news coming out there. If you guys don't know, it looks like KOMU has announced Ben Arnett, the sports director, KOMU 8 sports director, father and friend, passes away at age 43. Very sad news of that. He's been a pillar of the Missouri media community and covering the Missouri Tigers. That is very heartbreaking. I think is a very good way to put it. Devastating. I think it's all you can really say about it. Incredibly heartbreaking. He's 43. Ben Arnett passes away. But I think that's going to do it for this first edition of the Mizzou postgame show of the 2025 season. Appreciate you guys tuning in, hanging out with us after the game. Appreciate you staying up a little later as well. Mizzou 19, yes. Rest in peace to Ben as we're going to go through the season and wrap it up here. But we do appreciate you guys hanging out. DJ Colin, appreciate you guys. Everybody in the chat, Shane, Chris Palmer, Mizzou 19, Steven Talbot. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us live at the time of this. Aaron Conrad, thank you for your question, man. I appreciate Samantha as well. Everyone hanging out with us. Jake Mizzou, man. I think appreciate the chat. You guys make this fun. So I think that's going to do it for this very first edition. The Missouri Tigers win 61-6 in their season opening game against Central Arkansas. I'm Tucker Franklin. We will be back next week to preview the Missouri Tigers game. I think we got some guests in the hopper that you guys are going to like and you guys are going to enjoy. And then we might have a post-game show from there. We'll see. I'll be at Holiday Distillery. We'll see if I'll do a post-game show. But appreciate you. Love you guys. We appreciate you. We will talk to you guys next week to preview Mizzou KU, the Border War.